And if they ever make a He-Man movie, Triple H.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if they need to reboot Thor, Triple H.
Or if you need your wrestling company taken care of after you accidentally pay some interns that you were fucking on the side, Triple H.
Who would do that?
Quadruple H.
Do you remember? Hang on. Yeah. Shane knows what I'm talking about already. Do you remember Quadruple H? Does that ring any bells for either of you?
No.
What about Quadruple H giving a quadruple bypass? Does that ring any bells?
No.
There was a skit. I told Shane the other day. I sent him, this is something that just pops in my head. Like, you get those stupid fucking thoughts.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Okay.
And usually it's like commercials from the early 2000s. Now, there's an episode when Mad got brought back as a Cartoon Network show.
Yes.
Yeah.
They made WWER as a bit.
Yep.
And the only thing that played in my head was Quadruple H giving a quadruple bypass.
Yeah.
What was the WWE camp show?
Camp WWE.
Yeah.
That honestly though,
Hogan's Heroes.
the first few episodes of Camp WWE were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They did good with that.
I miss Mad TV. But really quick too, I'm totally segueing into something different really quick. Not really quick at all.
segue.
Thanks. Lost Media. Have you had any good Lost Media finds recently? Style in particular, but I don't know if you guys like Lost. I love Lost Media.
Are you wanting me to bring up something that we've talked about? Like,
no.
okay,
no.
I thought like you were heavily implying.
I need
No,
an
but you
example
can, and
to go down the rabbit hole.
The big one that I love is that I feel like you and I have talked about recently is the Chris Farley as Shrek one. There's a lot of
Shrek.
So Chris Farley was supposed to be the original Shrek, and he did the voice lines for the entire movie, and they had like a 3D model for him art. Like there's a different design for Shrek. Yeah, what's up?
Can I take down Sexy Flanders now so I can pull up the Shrek model?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to get the
No,
rules.
I mean I needed it up there for a while.
The tone,
Okay.
the
I was
tone of the
slapping.
Farley Shrek was going to be completely different.
Yes.
Yeah, it was gonna
And
be
like
a lot-
everything you read about it, like Farley was really excited for it because it was going to show his more serious side.
No, that's something that I wanted to talk about a little bit with it because we talked about it on air, but
Yes.
I wanted to touch on it more. It's like
Yeah.
this was going to be one of those movies that it was a movie made for Chris Farley, and it was going to show Chris Farley for like who he was behind the scenes while portraying this character. Like it was going to be a very good role for Chris Farley. It was one of those Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams, where like it was made for him, and then he died, and they scrapped the entire movie, and it's like
Mike Myers.
They need to release that.
all of the voice lines are out there.
Yeah.
All of
all the audio's done for Chris.
so like you can watch the entire movie, and to segue into something a little bit different, but not really, they were going to make a Popeye movie, and that whole movie got like scrapped, but all the voice lines were done and the storyboarding were done. So someone compiled the storyboarding and combined it with the lost audio, and now you can watch this Lost Media Popeye movie that was supposed to come out in like 2015 or something like that. And if something like that was done with this Chris Farley Shrek edit, that would be so like, I think it'd be great redemption for Chris Farley as an actor. Like it would be
as a serious actor,
as a serious actor that like because I feel like there was part of him that wanted to be seen in that light, you know, something
that makes him not Adam Sandler's friend.
Yeah, and not the
right.
He didn't want to be the funny fat guy fall down, you know. Like he knew, and I think like people around him knew that there was more to his character than that, and it just didn't get shown.
And you can even
the fat guy fall down was what made people laugh.
You can even see that in some of his SNL skits where he plays more serious, and you're like, oh,
you did that with crazy timing. You said SNL skit, and it pulled up a picture of him from SNL.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I made that YouTube video.
It's just so crazy that like this Shrek movie was going to be completely different, and it was pretty much done, and a lot of it is like out there to find, and it's just scrapped. It's gone. Like
I know I said this on the show the other week, but I really think when Shrek hits like the 25-year mark, they need to re-release like a box set and then like animate it in the style they were originally going to, and just make the original Shrek movie, even if it looks rough. Just have it as like a special, you know.
I'd be totally okay with like a rough cut storyboard, like just 2D animation, whatever. But with Chris Farley's voice lines and like that story, because
even if it's just like early CGI, like the test footage.
Yeah, and I think that was the other it's supposed to be a completely different story. Like the plot itself is of the Shrek of the first Shrek movie is going to be different. And like we talked about this on air, Jake. I don't know if you, but this was.
I don't know if you listen to the product or anything, but
usually it feels like the Shrek we have now is like the MCU, where it's like there's 5 movies and there's a bunch of different. It feels like Chris Farley's Shrek was going to be more like the Joker, where it was very standalone, like in its own universe.
That I agree with.
One off, just this Shrek movie, and then Chris is going to move on to something different. And we're never going to touch Shrek again. But now, because of Mike Myers and they more leaned into the comedy, it's like, well, let's make 10 movies and let's give them babies and a Halloween special, and you know, like
Shrek the halls.
They yucked it up to the nth degree because Chris Farley died.
No, I could see that. And especially if because it sounds like Farley was really going to like pour himself into it. And if they did that, I don't see him doing another one. Even if they approach him to be like, hey, we could do a series out of this. I could see him be like, no.
Yeah, no, I put my heart
I'm okay.
I did the first one. That's all I wanted to do. Another one that I think of, if we're just talking about more lost media, I don't know if you guys have any good examples or anything like that, but I always think that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 is interesting.
I saw something on that the other day, actually, because it was like the anniversary of the release date or something came up.
There's a lot of storyboards. The plot is like fully there pretty much, or like almost. There's like a couple stories I think that were...
Which it is being reported that there will be a new Spider-Man with Tobey.
Yeah, all of that stuff... all the Marvel stuff there's so much hype around it that it's like I'll believe it when I see it, but I don't not buy any of it at this point.
Well, yeah,
I could see them doing Amazing Spider-Man 3. I could see them doing Spider-Man 4 with Tobey. I could see them doing all of it.
So why did the Amazing Spider-Man stop?
Because it was bad. Because it was terrible.
The first one was good. The second one was bad.
It just got dog shit reviews, and so they were like, "Fuck this." And
that's the only movie I ever walked out of.
The MCU,
the second one? First one.
Really?
As soon as I saw Parker on the camera, I'm like, "This is fucking stupid." And I left.
The MCU was like, that's when Marvel was trying to buy back Spider-Man from Sony, so they were like, well, the second movie sucked, and Marvel's trying to make us more money, like, you know, codependent relationship here. Let's just make a better deal and have Tom Holland MCU.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
I thought you were going to bring up the Ninja Turtles.
I will. The Ninja Turtles thing is super interesting.
That makes 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, I love Ninja Turtles. I'm going through a huge ass Ninja Turtles kick these last couple months. There's supposed to be like Ninja Turtles 4 or I don't know. There's supposed to be a couple different Ninja Turtles in.
From what I understand, there was going to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be getting it. What?
Sorry, I'm reading a lost media thing right now about
go
about Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. There is apparently a lost scene in that where it says an extension of the scene where Ace is using a gas station exterior payphone. Oh wait, hold on. This is a different one. He's at a gas station where he enters Ray Finkel's hometown and asks a depressed gas station attendant for directions. He had just interrupted the man when he was about to put a barrel of a shotgun into his mouth.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That would have made that movie a lot more dark.
Yeah, that's why they removed him, and there's like a couple of ones that are like this.
Did we talk about the Napoleon Dynamite lost media on this show?
I don't think so, but I've seen a lot of like early Napoleon. Did I send you the test footage of Napoleon Dynamite?
I don't think so.
There's a test footage of them. Like there's the movie that they played at the indie like movie festivals so that they could get greenlit for a full movie. It was a what's it called, like student film fest type thing.
Oh yeah,
and it got like.
It got shit on, didn't it?
Well, no, it got like 7 standing ovations or something like that. It got like crazy. Like they did not expect it. Played like it was only supposed to play one night, and then it ended up playing every night because it was so popular. And then it got made into a full movie.
So the scene I'm talking about in particular, and this is like the only scene that what's his name, John Heder.
Yeah,
is that the guy? Hader? John Hader.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hader.
But this is the only thing that like I think he is actually commented on as far as the deleted scene goes. And the movie's gonna make a lot more sense once you hear this. There was supposed to be a scene, like in the first couple minutes where I told you about this, where Pedro's cousins show up a lot earlier.
What movie?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay, yeah.
Where Pedro's cousins show up a lot earlier on in the movie, and they give him LSD, and that's the reason he is like all sweaty at school and goes home and shaves his head because he's tripping. But that would have given the movie R rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had to cut that scene out, and that's why like the scene of him just randomly not feeling well and going home and shaving his head just kind of random in there. But it fits the theme of the movie. So
how is this like weird and just
Did you guys ever hear about the Wicked Witch episode of Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Where she hungers the hanging kid?
No,
that's
the
from
green
the,
paint.
So
from the original Wizard of Oz.
Like the Wicked Witch. Yeah.
The green paint?
Yes.
Yes.
So it fucked people up so bad They aired it one time.
Yeah.
Kids were having like
they aired it one time in the UK.
Yeah.
One time there was so much outrage from it. It got banned for like 50 years. It just got shown like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was a huge like
but it was
lost
that,
media
yeah.
white whale,
Did you hear
and then
about,
it just got uncovered.
Did you hear about the episode of Pokemon like way back in the
Electric
day?
Soldier Porygon.
That killed a bunch of children with epilepsy.
Yeah.
What?
So it was
Yeah.
released.
Oh,
it was
shit.
only released in Japan. It was the episode that features around Porygon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sequence, there's a battle sequence in it where
It's real flashy.
yeah, essentially he hits an electric move and like Pikachu does at the same time.
Mhm.
Like
And
worse
it's-
than Dragon Ball. Like
Yeah.
Really?
flashy,
And it's
like-
red, white, and blue
Jesus.
flashing for like
Because
7 seconds.
Ball Z is
America.
like really.
But it's like 7 straight seconds of just these flashing colors, and
Yeah.
it gave a bunch of Japanese kids
Wow.
seizures.
That's
gave, like,
crazy.
And
It was
they pulled the
It
episode. It
was
never
like
aired in America.
2,800 kids or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's insane.
Well, they pulled the one with the guns too.
Yeah.
There was
Have you guys heard about the? Go ahead. Sorry.
there was an episode of Pokemon where Team Rocket's boss, like the president of the company,
Mm-hmm.
pulls like a gun on him, and it was shown in America a couple times, but they ended up pulling it.
Or it's like the first episode of Dragon Ball where Bulma shows her tits.
What?
Yeah. Like from the 80s. Like there's or 70s or 80s, I can't remember. But there was like an episode, the first episode, like there's a lot of weird shit in that first episode.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind
Goku
of a
finds out that women have vaginas.
It's a weird, like, horny first episode.
Yeah,
Really?
A lot of
then-
animes can be, like, horny sometimes. First episode of Dragon Ball, the OG Dragon Ball, really horny for some
yeah,
reason.
and because like Bulma flashes Mr. Roshi like her tits.
Yeah.
So there's one from like back. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I
Mhm.
knew I couldn't think of the name of the movie. So they made a Noah's Ark back in like the 1930s,
Mm-hmm.
and like numerous fucking people died.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, like when they were, because it was all practical.
Yeah.
And when they started to flood the
drowning?
area,
Uh-huh.
people were drowning.
Wow.
The waves
Really?
made people like knock their head into like rocks
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
else. So, and I watched a video on this like a year and a half ago. People were so upset because they just used the footage.
Yeah.
So there's literally dead bodies floating in the water
No.
of actual extras.
And it aired?
They showed it in. They showed it
That's
one time
Crazy.
for like the just hey, look, come see the movie of Noah's Ark,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
they banned it and burned it. So like you'll never see it.
That's
They
so
have like
crazy.
little outtakes from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to look it up. It's insane.
Weren't
So
there-
people legitimately died from injuries.
So it
of
was a
drown-
snuff film.
Yeah.
I-
Considered now.
Yeah,
Now.
I guess it was.
That
yeah.
real quick. There's a movie. Someone might have heard of this here. And I don't know what it's called. It was a French film, and I
Mhm.
think it was for an independent film festival. But it was based on the life of Jesus Christ, and it got banned and burned because it like depicted Jesus being born
Yeah.
and then like like brutally tortured.
Yeah.
And like just
Mhm.
really fucking graphic,
Mhm.
and like there was incest in it.
Yeah.
There was all this really fucked up imagery in it that it got banned. And like it was some French film. I don't know what it was, but like they never fucking played it again.
Is that the
And it
one that
got
got like?
burned.
Is that the one that like got found in the? It was like found in a. There was some piece of like religious lost media that was found in like a mentally disabled home.
That might have been it, actually. Yes.
In like France or
Yes.
something like that, and like it was the last reel of it that
Yeah.
they had
Wow.
ever found. And
Yeah.
so after it had all been burned, they like 50 years later, whatever,
Yep.
they found it in this. It was like a. I want to say it was like a disabled person's home, or like if you were mentally.
I think it was like a mental ward or something.
Yeah, like
Okay.
someone's
if you-
room.
yeah, it was like in the back, like in the files or whatever.
I fucking love. I had chills talking about lost media.
No,
like, I
Lost
fucking
Media,
love lost
the-
media.
Oh
dude.
yeah, no, it's great. It's just
The reason I brought it up is because I know we can all
Yeah.
probably
Like,
talk
I've-
about it for it's fun.
I've watched so much shit on it, but I don't remember until like it hits me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and I'll just
No,
be like driving to work, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's right, that's a thing."
That's what I was
Yeah.
with the
Yep.
Ninja Turtles thing. That's what I was thinking because you mentioned the Ninja Turtles thing. So and like I know a bunch about it, but it has to hit me for me to like fully remember it because it's so detailed. There was like 3 different drafts for the second Ninja Turtles movie, the live action one. And there was like 3 different story arcs for it, and they all got scrapped. And I don't remember, but
So from what I remember, and you
Mhm.
might after
Yeah,
like
yeah,
hearing it, you might be able
yeah.
to decipher it better.
Yeah.
But from what I might be combining 2 of them. But the
Mhm.
4th Ninja Turtles movie was set to go, and like we're talking like the '90s rubber
Yeah.
suit ones.
yeah,
And because the budget kept getting worse with
Yes.
every movie,
Yeah.
and like reflected in the viewership and buys of it.
Yeah.
They ended up scrapping it, but the full script was done, and the fourth concept was supposed to be like the mutagen kept mutating.
And they had different powers.
Yeah.
And,
and it had like side effects too. So like Donatello was supposed to go blind, but it heightened his other senses, and like he had this really cool like tech goggles and shit.
Michelangelo was supposed to be allowed to like turn into a human and walk amongst the people.
Yeah.
Wow. Raphael
he was like, a big monster.
Yeah, he got like bigger and like scarier look. I forget what Leonardo's was, but yeah, they all got like extra superpowers essentially. And then it got scrapped, and there was like
and
the
Splinter
show.
Did too. He was like
Splinter,
beefy rat dude.
Splinter got like a buff job too.
Yeah.
But they scrapped it, and then there was like the Ninja Turtle live action show that tanked, and I don't know. Like I said, I've been obsessed with.
Do you
Ninja
remember
Turtles recently.
the Nickelodeon cartoon Butt Ugly Martians?
Yes, I saw socks for it the other day.
So
Butt
apparently
Ugly
that's lost
Martians.
media. So you can't find like full episodes anywhere.
Really?
Pull up a picture of.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. Jamie,
pull that clip up.
No, yeah, I don't remember. Maybe if I saw a picture, but
I think you'll know it as soon as you see it.
Was it on Cartoon Network?
Yeah. Cartoon Network or Nick?
Nick,
okay.
Yep, Nickelodeon.
So I always get confused with Real Monsters. The really weird CGI.
No,
I've never seen that.
You don't remember these?
Yeah, this is completely new to me. That's crazy.
Can I talk about?
And it did that weird thing with the like their arms would never stop.
Like the On Blue music video?
Yeah, like it's
weird.
just like
They're
the old
always in
Donkey
constant,
Kong
like constant
show.
motion, like
Was it
idle
Making
animation.
Yeah.
Fiends?
Huh?
Do you remember Making Fiends?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was a weird. That was a weird thing.
That one I think got taken down as well.
I remember seeing ads for it. I don't remember watching it, but I
Yeah.
remember seeing the commercials for it. Can I talk about Yeah Beebiss?
Yeah, of course.
Do you guys know about Yeah Beebiss?
I do not.
So
I know a little bit about it, but I know you like.
I love it. This is one of my favorite things of Lost Media. So it's a game, or it was supposed to be a game.
Mhm.
There were two companies that essentially made game catalogs for the year, and they only came out once a year, so they tried to get like all the titles they could on it and list them, like upcoming dates, what they're expected to do, right? So there's one company out of New York called it's Funko, but not Funko Pop. It was Funko Games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
Funko Land?
not Funko Land. And
Fucking loved
they
Funko
put out this catalog for the year of all the games, and in it was Yeah Beebiss. And nobody knew what the fuck this game was. They thought maybe it was a bad translation for a Japanese game that was coming out. And everyone was just trying to figure out what this game was. So this other company, completely different company in like Wyoming or something, no correlation, also had this in their game catalog. Yeah Beebiss. And they were the only two companies that had it. So everyone's trying to figure out like, what the fuck does this mean? Is there some kind of thing here?
Yeah.
So I think they ended up figuring out, and this took like 35 years to get any kind of headway, but they figured out, they traced it back to a lawsuit from a map company. There's a map company in New York that used to make fake street names so they could sue anyone copying their maps for copyright.
Wow.
Now, they never, the map company took this to court. They found someone who was copying their maps with the fake street names and took it to court. The court ruled that they can't claim copyright on something that does not exist. So them making up streets does not count as copyright because there is no actual street there because they're lying about the place.
Yeah.
So it's believed that this company, the gaming company, did this for the same intentions because they're both like right around the corner from each other, the map company and the game company.
Yeah.
So it's believed that the gaming company put this title in there as just like, hey, we'll see if anyone's copying our list, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it's thought to have been. There was never a lawsuit between the gaming companies because I think that lawsuit with the maps happened before the actual second issue of this game came out. So like they would have known by that point they can't win a lawsuit with it.
Yeah.
But for like 35 years, it was like, where's this game? Is it a mistranslation of this game, this game, this game? Is it an unfinished game? Coolest part about this, I think, is so we finally figured out that more than likely it is just a red herring in there, just to catch copyright.
Yeah.
That's more than likely what it is.
Yeah.
But for the longest time,
that is what I like. That is where my research on Yeah Beebiss kind of stopped. Was like it's just a fake name that this company made up to mess with people.
But for the longest time, they thought it was this game. And I don't have the American because it's in Japanese. I don't have the American title for it, but it's essentially it's like yes baby or something. It's something close.
Yeah.
It's like oi oi. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was.
But it's a little I
think it was Bimby.
It says it says it on the right there. Yeah Beebiss.
No, the Yeah Beebiss is the game that we're talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they thought it was this game because it was very close. It was like oi oi adventure, something stupid like that, but like close pattern in words. And it's this kid who's like in this trench coat. He's running on a map, and he's got this like traditional Chinese headwear with a little Chinese symbol on it, right?
Yeah. Does it say it on that cartridge?
It doesn't. There? No, that's just a Beebiss cartridge.
It's written underneath it.
I know it's not the same thing.
Okay.
But they thought it was this game for the longest time. They thought it was a mistranslation. Now there is a game for the Switch called Yeah Beebiss 2, and it's based on what they thought the game was going to be.
Wow.
It is Lost Media come to life. So Yeah Beebiss 2 is a game that you can purchase on the Switch. I'm not sure if it's for any other consoles, but you can purchase it on the Switch. It was based on the game that was never released, a sequel to the mythical game, and it uses the art of the game they thought it was.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's
that's like Lost Media come full circle. I love it so much.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Yeah, Lost Media is interesting, and I feel like I could talk about it for hours just because it's like
so many things.
Well,
we all grew up in taking media. That was like number one form of entertainment is media intake. And so then you find out like, oh, there's this stuff that didn't get released about this stuff in relation to this stuff that you love. Well, and you can find it if you want, but you have to look, and it's shrouded in it, like.
So when MGM back in the day, all the movies that weren't successful, they just burned. They just got rid of it.
Yeah. What? Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I've heard about that. So they did all that.
And then as like wrestling fan, as like morbid as it sounds,
Owen Hart. Yeah, I remember when we talked about last year we did a whole series on Lost Media for the Rebel Radio Show. You can catch it Mondays on CBW live at 5. But we did Owen Hart's tape because it exists.
Yeah,
there are 2 copies of it that exist, and the Hart family has one, and Vince McMahon and the WWE have one locked up, and it's on the tape. Like there's a picture of the physical VHS.
Right,
it says to never be shown or destroyed. It says to never be shown or destroyed.
It's wild.
So like intentional lost. Like, okay, and I know this one's like there's legal stuff as to why you can't release it, but it's topical. The Batgirl movie that just got canned. An entire movie that is completely done. Like
they just do that all the time.
You can watch but that was back when budgets were a lot smaller. And I mean, granted, the budget for this movie wasn't huge, but still, there was pyrotechnics. There was probably a lot of visual, like, CGI and stuff that was in, like...
Trip to the Moon?
Yeah.
You guys know about Trip to the Moon?
A little bit.
I've only seen clips.
1902, was it a French film? Trip to the Moon? It was like the first noted stop-motion animation, or claymation animation movie, and the dude hated it so much that he just wasn't happy with his work, that he destroyed it in a fire. And they found one reel of it that they could salvage because they salvaged the copper from it. They found one reel that they could salvage, but the audio was destroyed. So it is now on Hulu, all of the film that they have for it. And it's just a silent movie. I think they put like orchestral over it now, though. Yeah. But you can watch the movie, and it's like, it's very unsettling, like the early animation style of it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like the early Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's something cool that like this was never supposed to be seen because the dude just hated it and destroyed it.
Well, it was filmed in LA. They actually ended up turning it like they built like a legit set for it. It was like $100 million set. It was the most they spent. This was back in the 30s. It's still standing in LA. No, not for this. Oh, okay. For a different movie. It was like some Egyptian movie type thing. But the set failed. A bunch of people died. They finished it and just never released it.
Really? That's so crazy. Like it's so crazy to me that like full movies get made. All of this time, all of this money, all of this energy gets put into making this piece. And like those actors are there saying, I know it sounds dumb, but those actors are there saying those lines, getting into those parts, and it's like all gone. Just completely wipe the whole thing. Yeah. Fuck it. Like that's crazy.
That would be like at the end of this, George just like, hey, great show. Delete.
What the fuck is going on? Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.